let's see. Okay, why don't I just start by asking you, well, what's wrong with cigarette advertising?
Well, it's not true to the word advertise, ad veritas. It does not point us toward the truth. Cigarette advertising is a lie. It promises the good life. It tells you you'll be alive with pleasure. It suggests to you that you'll have fun with girls or boys. And all of that is a joke. It's a lie. You will not enjoy the good life. You will not be alive with pleasure but dead of cardiovascular disease, emphysema, lung cancer. And it does not necessarily attract the boys or the girls simply because it dulls your teeth, it gives you bad breath. And it's just a terrible habit that's killing 400,000 people in the United States of America alone per year.
Now, many people have asked me, what about magazines and newspapers? I'm not going after magazines and newspapers. You spend your money and you buy a magazine and you buy a newspaper. That's your prerogative. But billboards, we don't have a choice in whether we want to see a billboard or not. It's there. And just as cigarette advertising could be removed from the television, television tube, we believe that it can be removed from these billboards. I'm not seeking to take jobs away from posters, those persons who post the billboards, nor am I seeking to destroy the business of the billboard companies. But I am saying that the posters and the billboard companies have a responsibility to society to say there is an overabundance of these advertising posters in especially poor communities. And it's not right. People say, well, you got to change the behavior of your young people. We will. Because for me, I believe that the one addicted to heroin is no better off than the one who sells it.
That's right. That's right.
Those advertisers who continue to fight using their First Amendment rights are just as bad as men and women who push drugs.
All right.
Except they hide behind the law.
These are some heavy cats that you're dealing with, these corporate types. I mean, they're powerful people. How do they deal with you when you come to them with these demands?
First of all, they insult you. They won't meet with you. Each time I go to Philip Morris, I go to the door and they won't let me in. I say, all I want to do is make an appointment for a meeting. They tell me to write a letter or make a phone call. I say, but I'm a human being and I'm here in person. What could be better than that? I can go in and speak to someone, set up an appointment, and then I'll come back. But they won't let me do it. So it's an insult to my humanity by not dealing with me as a human being and wanting to deal with something impersonal like a letter or a phone call. So I've decided to continue to go back, and each time we take more people. Now, what we told them and what they don't believe is that the next time we go, we're going to tie up their corporate headquarters. Now, I love this because they're arrogant, and I'm a minister. They're like Pharaoh. You know, Moses tells Pharaoh to let the people go. Pharaoh says, I'm Moses. You know, what can you do to me? So they turn the water into blood. Pharaoh says, so what? That's a cheap trick. You know, then they send the frogs. Then they send the locusts. And Pharaoh still won't budge, because he's arrogant, he's powerful, and nobody can touch him. And so finally he has to strike the firstborn of Egypt dead. And that finally convinces Pharaoh that these guys mean business. So I like the arrogance of Philip Morris. You can't do anything to us. You're just a ragtag preacher from Harlem, and you got a bunch of followers who come down here and shout at us. And what can you do? But I promise you, Philip Morris, in your arrogance, you, Mr. Hamish Maxwell, who's dying, I think, of some kind of cardiovascular disease now because you won't stop smoking. You, Mr. RJR, and you have one of RJR's relatives who tells you that most of their relatives died from cigarette smoking. You arrogant corporate executives, we are dealing and fighting against spiritual wickedness in high places. You people who think that we can't tie you up, continue to smile and laugh and point a finger at this little ragtag preacher. But we will tie up Philip Morris's corporate, international corporate headquarters at 41st and Park.